Como é que é, pessoal? Bem-vindos novamente ao Undergrounds Voice ao vivo. Hoje tenho aqui o prazer de receber um convidado de peso, o grande Tony Kakko, dos Sonata Arctica. Man, thank you so much for being here. It's a huge honor for me to meet you and to receive you here at Undergrounds Voice from Portugal. I'm a huge fan of the band, so I'm really happy. I'm really happy to meet you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good to see you.
Well, Acoustic Adventures Volume 1 was finally released at January 21st. 1 year later, that was supposed. And it's really special because you guys didn't just replace the electric guitars for acoustic ones. You worked and created new arrangements, right? So how was this writing process?
A pleasant one. I think Sonata Arctica songs in general, all of them, they translate really easily into pretty much anything, especially in the acoustic form, which is for vast majority of the songs the sort of home, so to say, because I usually write with piano or acoustic guitar, so I got to, in a way, like reverse engineer some of these songs back into their original form, that like the really original form, before we decorated them and arranged them into something else. And I love that thing. You know, it allowed me to and us to give more emphasis and attention to songs that we feel that they never got enough, or they were sort of left out. They never got any place in shows. We didn't have them in set list ever for some of the songs, and some we have just played a few times. And I think a lot of people can approach and see and understand some of these songs much differently now that they are arranged in the acoustic form. So I loved it. Was really easy for me. It was a wonderful process for me, this whole thing, and I loved it. And ultimately, I do hope that we get to make more of these acoustic albums in the future.
Yeah, you did the Acoustic Adventures tour in 2019. So, did you ever imagine that this could turn into one of the biggest projects in the band's history, with at least 2 acoustic albums and a live stream also?
Yes, that was actually our idea. It was the final goal that we had. The whole thing, in a way, started already 2018 when we started talking, to our management and booking agencies that we would love to go on acoustic tour, and in that way convince our label and everybody that this would actually work also on an album. So it was like a long road that we took. We first took the tour and managed to open a lot of doors for these acoustic albums to happen. So it's been brewing for ages. I remember actually the first time I ever thought of how great and how much fun it must be and could be to release more acoustic songs, like early 2000 something. I can't recall the year. It must have been 2001 or something, when we recorded Mary Lou from our debut album as an acoustic version, and I loved that, and I thought that it would be great to make more one day. And it took a long time. Of course, we played every now and again, acoustic songs here and there. Like we had some on our Live in Finland DVD, and also I think in 2014 we played acoustic festivals in Finland and so forth. So it's been like brewing and developing slowly during the years, and now finally got here, and we have 2 albums coming out. First is out now, and then the other one comes later this year.
Okay. Can it be like a turning point in your career, like Sonata Arctica before and after Acoustic Experience or Adventures?
I am pretty sure that any album can be considered a sort of watershed moment, but I don't think it ultimately will change anything. Now we just have different kind of alternative side of Sonata Arctica available for anybody to listen, also on an album form, and also, of course, this now allows us maybe it probably makes more touring possible as well. Would be wonderful to take this acoustic tour worldwide if such thing was to happen. It's so different in a healthy way from a normal heavy metal show. The songs have like this more tender side. Of course, it's not for everybody. I know there are some people who are not fans of this kind of music, but also at the same time, there are a lot of Sonata Arctica fans who really love the songs per se, but they are not at all fans of this really hard like approach and how these songs are heavy metal partially, but they would really love the songs if they were
Yeah.
played in a different way. So we are sort of luring in people probably from different genres of music and outside of metal, normal metal fan group that is out there. So it's good. We are luring more fans for metal music with this delicate scheme that we have going on here.
It's true. Well, some people prefer faster and heavier music, and other people prefer more melodic and intimate music. So Sonata Arctica have these two sides, and you explore them perfectly, which allows the band to reach different audience. So do you think that's one of the reasons for the band being so successful?
Well, I'd like to think that the songs are good enough.
They are.
Yeah, thank you. So that's always a good starting point for a band to have. So it's much easier for fans to approach, and so yeah, melodic music that is like, I don't know, it's old school in that way. A lot of our songs, they have this old like pop like structure. We have a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then you repeat those parts. And the basic structure is really simple in most of the Sonata Arctica songs, or they can be stripped down into such simple thing as we have now done on this Acoustic Adventures thing, and that's probably why it is so easily appealing to a large group of people.
Yeah.
We are not really extreme anything, so we're sort of swimming in the middle.
Did you ever thought about releasing a double disc like volume 1 and 2 because of the delays they had, or would that make or better, would it take away some meaning of this project?
We recorded both of these albums already
Yeah.
like 1.5 years ago, 2020, and as the whole thing was based on the live show, on the set list we had there, so we already had way more than you can fit on one CD. So it was really natural to go and have two CDs out. We could have released maybe a double CD, but I don't know. So getting such a vast amount of songs in such a short time, I think it might be a little bit much. So now we have a little bit time span in between, and of course, it allows the band to have the maximum attention as well. There's nothing much happening. You can not be sure if you get to tour, so at least we have something to give to fans and some way to get noticeability, and which is really good thing at this point. We are still here and we are coming up with new stuff all the time, and hopefully in the near future also a real studio album, very heavier kind.
Would be great. And the band has evolved a lot over the years, and your sound has also changed. It's very different now compared to the first album, for example. And this lead to the famous discussion between those who think that the band is no longer the same band, and those who think it was a positive change and didn't record the same album like 10 times. So how do you deal with that?
Well, we are quite literally a different band these days. We only have two original members, and so it's understandable. And of course, we have evolved into something that is not even close to what we were early days, and that's my fault. I take all the blame for that, because power metal was something that I was really into for a really short period of time. I first found metal music in general with Stratovarius back in '97 with Vision's album, and that started the evolution of the band that later became Sonata Arctica and then turned us into a power metal. And we really hard tried to be something that we are maybe not, because the band that turned into Sonata Arctica fundamentally from the heart and the core is a little bit different. It's not really power metal, and I don't think like any of even the most power metal Sonata Arctica album is not really that much power metal. It has, of course, it's an element and it's a spice and a part of it, and there are songs that are like really, really power metal. But generally speaking, on the albums, I think we always had so many different styles that are not power metal, like normal rock songs. Even if you take Ecliptica, for example, you have Full Moon and such songs that are not exactly power metal. So that was only a tiny bit of us, and I think a lot of people sort of put too much emphasis on that power metal side of Sonata Arctica. Of course, that's to blame to labels. Power metal was the biggest thing at the time when we showed up and got any attention, and of course that was an easy label to put on us, and it's really hard to kind of get that out or change it to anything else. I've tried to put a melodic metal label on us, but it doesn't seem to appeal a lot of people. Like now when I'm looking at the video that we have out for the sake of revenge, the acoustic video, it still has hashtag power metal.
It is.
Yeah, so it's like I find it a little bit more than just weird and not. It doesn't work. It does not bring the right audience in. If you're looking for something nice and acoustic, you're not looking for power metal. Hashtag power metal. Let's see what comes up. No, I think in many ways, I'm sorry to say this, label people, but I think we are marketed a little bit wrong. But at the same time, I'm taking blame for that because we are probably super difficult to market to start with. Because we don't really fit in any box that comfortably. It's like we are one of those weird square blocks that you are trying to put in a round hole, and it just doesn't work. We never seem to fit anywhere snugly. And even if we are put in power metal box, there are power metal people that are really into the purest form of power metal, and from the get-go I've heard like complaints from those fans that Sonata Arctica is not power metal at all and blah blah blah, and yeah, sure, yeah, of course, and that we are something totally different. Some people even claim that we are not metal, that we are more like rock, and I can't really with an honest heart say that they are completely wrong either. so we are
everything.
we are just a band with melodic songs. So I think melodic rock metal is a really loose enough label to have for us, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And you're already working on the 25th anniversary of the band with a South American tour. So what can you expect more besides you already talked about the new album?
Well, first of all, we've been putting off this postponing once again this Latin American tour. Now I hope it really actually happens in April. The situation in Finland, it's worse than it has ever been so far with this pandemic thing, and then we'll see. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that all things go well and we get to actually do it now and not postpone it once again, because next time I fear it might turn into the tour, the album tour of our next studio album.
Yeah.
So because we have already renamed it once. It was already originally meant to be Talviyö tour, and now it has turned into 25th anniversary tour. And so let's see if that happens. And then next up is summer festivals. Obviously, I'm pretty sure and confident that we get to do at least some.
We hope so.
If not all of them, and I really hope that we get to go outside Finland with those this time. We've been stuck in Finland for 2 years now, and it's unfortunate. And autumn comes, and I hope things are well in the world, and then we get to do all the touring that we have been planning and start touring new ones with a good conscience and feel good about trying to arrange something. And early next year, I think the studio. That's the plan, and we haven't really looked any further yet.
We need live music.
And, oh gosh, yes.
And the 5th and the 10 albums have Finnish titles. So can we already assume that the 15 will have it too?
No, that was just a coincidence. It just happened I didn't really mean it that way, but yeah, that's true. So maybe 15. Now it would be really easy
Who knows?
to make it a thing. Every fifth is named has a Finnish title. So why not? It's not such a bad idea at all.
It is. It's a funny thing.
Yeah.
And finally, thank you so much for being here. Once again, it was a huge honor for me to meet you, to receive you here at Underground's Voice. So, any last words for the Portuguese fans and Underground's Voice viewers?
Well, it's early of the year. I want to wish you all a really good 2022. It's going to be a great year. Let's make sure of it and take care of yourselves and those around you. That's the only way we can make this world rock again. And everybody who's working in the businesses that are suffering currently from this awful crap that we are suffering gets to do what they're supposed to do, and the world will be a happy place once again. So hope to see you all real soon.
Thank you so much. Please stay safe and hope to meet you soon here in Portugal.
You too. Cheers.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.